308. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Sam, it's Kowalski from Nebraska.
Kowalski from Nebraska. This is the first thing that's gone right today. What's on your mind?
Well, I usually make everyone's day brighter, but I had a rather complicated question, and I wanted to get some feedback on it.
Okay.
So I've been doing some research into climate change solutions, proposals, and all the sort, and I came to a you think it would be wise to explain to people who are not really all that familiar with climate change to talk about how there are solutions that can save the climate but kind of screw the ecology? Because basically there are things you can do that can fix essentially the carbon concentration that would still result in, the Amazon getting destroyed and all the animals getting wiped out. I can see that going either way in the conversation because, we obviously don't want to lose all the animals and, our wildlife, but, those are going to be the cheapest solutions. So, what is your take on, the nuances of that conversation?
I'm not sure as to what I'm not sure how did you get to that conversation? I'm not, I don't understand the context in which
explaining some ways that you can essentially balance the carbon equation. You can do a few things that in a capitalist mindset, there are things you could do right now with the current agricultural system that could make sequestering carbon a profitable industry if it was propped up with a government tax, but it would do absolutely nothing to ensure better water quality. It would do nothing to ensure that there would be diverse wildlife
but it wouldn't
necessarily
erosion. It wouldn't necessarily harm those things, would it?
It could. Basically, there are things you could do that would still promote monoculture, and it would basically, it's using what we have now with all the systems in place of our liberal hellscape to basically making sure that the climate will be good for humans, but the environment would basically just be ours to do with as we please.
Well, I don't know in practice if you have to make that trade-off, but if you're saying from a rhetorical standpoint, climate change, it seems to me, is a first order problem, right? And, that's the one that I would address first in this environment, frankly.
So preserving forests and wildlife would be a secondary thing, get there when you get more people on board, or?
Yeah. If you cannot compel people to save our civilization, right? This is the thing, is that the earth is not going to burn up. What I do think is going to happen is that we could lose hundreds of millions, if not billions of people over the course of 100 years because of climate change making large parts of the world uninhabitable. And I think if you got to deal with that first, that seems to me to be the first order emergency. Now, I don't know if I necessarily, accept that in practice, you can't do both simultaneously.
Oh, no. You can do both simultaneously. It's just they're a little more complicated to explain.
Yeah,
so
no, rhetorically,
what I'm
dude, have you looked around? You know where you live. You worried about the nuance in these conversations?
Well.
Yeah, look, no. I think the idea is that, to the extent that you have to talk about solutions, right? It is really just to further the acceptance of certain reality that's taking place. And so from a rhetorical standpoint, I would say, yes, I would maybe, not feel so compelled to deliver the nuance. That's for the That's for the you're trying to introduce things into a survey course that I think are just not your students are not ready for.
All right, that makes sense. I'm trying to work on some scripts right now when I get this channel thing going, and I always get into this oh, this thing leads to X, which leads to Y, which leads to Z, and you just keep going and going.
Yeah,
and going. You don't know when to stop. So.
Yeah, no, you need to stop. I mean, if you feel that compulsion, and I understand that, right? I understand that feeling. Believe me, the best way to deal with that is to do some of your content as survey course, and then then self-consciously say, I'm saving the sort of more nuanced stuff for other level 2, level 3 course or whatever it is. I mean, that way, at the very least for yourself, you will allow yourself the license to communicate the sort of the basic principles. I mean, this is a problem with any creation of content, whether it's what you're talking about, or I don't know, even writing a script, or a book for that matter. Like, there is a compulsion to put everything in there, and you got to fight that compulsion, even if you are cutting corners that doesn't tell you the whole story. Appreciate the call, Kowalski. Good luck with it.
Can I give you one little tidbit of positive news? I told my dentist the other day, and all COVID procedures were taken there, so don't worry about that. But they really enjoyed your take on the post office. They had never heard of your show before, showed it to them, and they really liked it. So you may have a couple new viewers from Nebraska. But
awesome.
I'll leave it at that, and everyone have a good, yep. Oh, yeah, Emma, hi.
Thanks, Kowalski.
Yeah, I think you're a really good addition to the show.
Thank you so much.
Later, maybe.
All right, there you go.
Appreciate it.